just so for insurance policy. You're not Edwardian, right?
I am an Edwardian. I am.
Okay,
Born and bred
100%
Edwardian.
Edwardian, right?
Yes, yes.
Not a borrowed Edwardian, right?
Not a borrowed one. I went to St. Edward's in the 90s. I'm proud to say that. My days at St. Edward's was lovely. I mean, everything was good, basically, to
Oh,
say.
you know, you know what? I've never actually asked you that question. When you just said you went to St. Edward's in the 90s, do you mind giving away? Because so that just made me feel good. Which year group were you in? Which class were you?
Well, when I say the 90s, I started St. Edward's from 91, 92.
Mm,
And the likes of, well, back in the days, we'll talk about Sarob, because
okay.
Sarob is a very popular man
No,
in
that's
St.
fine. But
Edward's.
by you saying you entered Edwards in 91, 92, that
Mhm.
made me feel like an old boy because I'm a class of 89 to 94. So
Yeah,
you probably would have seen me owning the main center court, the king of Anthony's, defeating teachers, you name it, senior boys. And I ran Edwards from, let me say, from three to from five.
of
I
course.
owned.
Yeah, of course. You were very popular in St. Edward's. And again, within those years, if people who know me, um, this journey that I'm doing today, I mean, when I return to UK, it's a journey that I've been doing for a very long time. And back in the days in the 90s in St. Edward's, I used to do the opening prayer for those of my guys who actually know me. So I would form assembly, call the assembly on, and then we back in the days we use sing to the Lord. I'm not very sure whether they still use sing to the Lord, but this is one of the books we normally use, and we do our normal prayer back then.
Right. Okay. Well, as time goes on, we'll probably catch up on your fun days and your not so fun days in Edwards, days that you want to forget about completely and days that you want to feel that you want to recapture. But tonight, you're going to be the host for this main event, what we call In Conversation on Diaspora Voices, which we do, myself and my younger brother, DJ Ish. But today is very special. Today is very special because we've got special people, almost a decade celebrating of three prezos or presidents, as we say, people that have actually owned the mantle. But more importantly, two key people that have done it for at least 9 years and more. And then we've got somebody who's coming into the post. So we're going to have that dialogue. And then we're looking forward as an Edwardian Day. We've got a centenary to celebrate, you know what I mean? And long live all of us and all Edwardians in the diaspora and at home as well to be able to witness such a wonderful occasion. You understand? So I've already started dropping my coin in my piggy bank. So just so that I'll be able to purchase 45% of the tickets. And I know that the school is going to make up the rest. And what would you say about yourself? Are you preparing?
Oh yes, I am. I'm absolutely preparing. And earlier on today, like I did said to Alvin in our conversation, more and more, I started sharing the link and getting more response. People are responding and asking me, tell us more about your school. Tell us more about this launching of the Zoom. So so people are actually up for it and they're looking forward. Even though it's a different atmosphere when we talk about Zoom these days. It's not a very strange thing, but in terms of what we are doing, it's very different and strange. So people are willing and yes, up for it, and I'm up for it as well.
Fantastic. Long live all of us. Long live all Edwardians and families and friends. So my work is almost going to be cut short for now. I'm going to hand over to you. But the only message I've got to everybody that's watching this program, and I'm calling and I'm employing on all Edwardians, friends of St. Edward Secondary School as well, affiliates, associates, whether you spent a day, whether you spent 7 years in Edwards, this is your opportunity to share the program. Let's go viral. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. Diaspora Voices SL. So I'm going to take a back seat and I'm going to hand the program over to Alvin, who's going to bring it. You hear me? I'm so excited. I'm giving Alvin, and I'm going to hand over to Mr. Clarence, who's going to lead the program tonight and with all our wonderful guests. And so if you need me, you can bring me in and out, but I'll hand over to you. And I wish you all the best. And I'm excited about tonight's program.
Thank you, DJ Little. Ladies and gentlemen, Firstly, let me just welcome tonight's guests. We have Mr. Donald Macaulay.
Good evening.
Good evening to you, sir. And we have Mr. Andrew Johnson.
Hello.
And lastly, we've got Mr. Alvin Cole.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening and welcome. Gentlemen, St. Edward's is our school. I'm proud to be an Edwardian, as I've always said. I always looked forward to be part of any program, anything that could make St. Edward's a better school. We are approaching 100 years. It's a very big number, a great number for many of us and for our children to come. So tonight's our guests, mainly they're going to be talking about the plans for the school and their past years as president, what they've done so far, what they've achieved, and again to our new president, we look forward to him steering that ship. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Mr. Donald Macaulay online because Mr. Donald Macaulay has been a wonderful, wonderful gentleman. He has steered the ship for so long. I actually worked under him from Ibrahim's Doumbia time onto Donald up to his time. And I can tell you, Donald is a very good gentleman who I always rely on. Is somebody I kind of turn to when I am kind of stuck in the things that I do when it comes to pastoral affairs. And he guides me. He gives me some tips. As to how to take things on. So, Mr. Donald Macaulay, welcome. My first question, or I would say to you or ask you is, please tell me a little bit more about yourself.
Well, thank you, Pastoral Officer Mr. Clarence. I'm Dixon. I will start to say I'm a family man, married, and luckily married to an Edwardian as well. This is Hammond Macaulay with 2 children. One in a 23 and a 16-year-old going 23, going 30, and a 16-year-old going 25. And I guess you all know me. I'm a family man. I don't mess about my family. After my family, it's we all love Edwards. I've loved Edwards from primary school. I didn't go to St. Edward. I went to St. Teresa's primary school, and my dad is an Edwardian through and through, and he introduced me to St. Edward Secondary from then. Met, having lived close to Mrs. Cassell, which was Miss Top, and so I've known Father O'Sullivan, and all Father O'Sullivan had known me from primary school. So Edwards, it's in my DNA, if I can say that. My dad managed the football team for a short while. And my mom used to wash the clothes, football team's clothes. We used to mend them those days. I used to wear them, and so Edwards is in my DNA. And then, fortunately, I went to St. Edwards from Form 1 to Form 5. I attended in 1979. I went to St. Edwards. I left at 1984. Came to England, and somehow I find myself meeting up an old Edwardian in the sense, an old boy who's an old head boy, Mr. Alfred Cissé, the late now Alfred Cissé, who told me about the association. And then I joined the association. After
Sorry, I would have to quote you there. I will get to that point.
All right.
Let's tell me, what year did you went to St. Edwards?
1979.
Or 1979. You did say yes. Okay. Now, because I'm seeing you're trying to get deep into how you get into the association. So now let's talk about the association itself in the UK. when did you join the All Edwardians Association in the UK? And how did you get there? Did someone actually introduce you?
Yes. Well, thank you for cutting me off, because I've chopped this.
That's the journalism style.
Absolutely. I joined in 1997, around there, 1997. After one or two, I joined, and then forgot about it, and then rejoined. Yes, someone introduced me. It was Alfred Sisse, a former Ed boy. Because, as I said, he passed away a few years ago, so rest in peace. Amen. Met him at Bodgers Park, because I used to live down Old Kent Road. We met at Bodgers Park, and he told me about all the Edwardians. Then we used to meet at Clapham, the West Indian Ex-Services Men's Association, and after a couple of times, I gave him my phone number, my address. After a couple of meetings of not attending, he called me and said, "I've not seen you. You promised to come." And I promised, and I did turn up around the third month. And to my shock and horror, I turned up. I was like the grandchild, because everybody there was like more or less my dad's age. Mm-hmm. But yes, so that's how I joined. I didn't go again, and then I got a call, and then this time I got a call from Uncle Eddie, and Uncle Eddie it's a family friend, and when I was born, actually Uncle Eddie was present, so he was able, through that connection, he was able to convince me and say, well, now that you know where we are, you need to keep coming, and you need to bring more young Edwardians. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of friends. I'm not into Facebook. But that's how I joined there anyway.
Good. And over the years, as you've been part of the association, and we've seen the association grow from strength to strength. When did you become the first president of the association? Because I noticed that you've been a president for a couple of years, and during your presidency, a lot has been done, a lot of changes. So when did you first become a president of the All Edwardians?
Well, if we go, I would say a couple of years. I've been president for 2 terms, and the presidency run, the first time is 2 years. So we going 5 years back. Andrew's done 2 years, 2 terms, which is 4 years. I did my 2 terms, and then Andrew did his 2 terms. And I've got a memory blank now of when I became the president. But I joined. I can check actually when I became a president is
because I could fully remember I did. Worked under your under your leadership
on the second term when I became president for the second term.
Yes.
Second term, you were my pastoral officer. Yes, and 2013. Yes.
2013.
2013. Yes. So I became a president, and I should say I became the accidental president, because I was never in the run. I was general secretary. And I was general secretary for a long time, and Andrew Johnson came in about 2011 or so, and he was assistant, and then he took over because I had to go and do a little bit of a course. I need to go study, and Andrew took over as general secretary. So I became the assistant, and Andrew took over as the general secretary. And then when it was time for our president to step down, because he's run his 2 terms. We were looking for someone, and I must say he convinced me, and the rest is history. I reluctantly accepted, but in 2013, yes, that's when I became president.
And under your presidency, what are your achievements so far? And any regrets at all?
Again, if I can learn from the pros in answering some of these questions, Deep down, I do not believe that it's a question I can answer. Say, what are my achievements? Because I say this because being a president is teamwork. I didn't be president and did everything by myself. So in order to pay respect to the rest of the Edwardian family and the executive, including yourselves and these fine gentlemen that I am here with, I would say collectively we did bring the association level further. And at this point, probably it's a good time for also to mention some of the past presidents who are still alive, whom I learned from. You know, for instance, Pa Ellis, you know, Pa Louis Ellis, we normally call him Uncle, Mr. Dominic Roberts, and even Ibrahim Dungwe, you know, that we all learned a lot. These gentlemen they brought a lot to the association, and I learned from them. You know, not to talk of the ones that have left us, and may their soul rest in peace. You know, one I can say, I'm sure Andy wouldn't mind if I say, Andy's dad, Mr. Lolin Johnson, he was treasurer and then became president, and I worked for him as general secretary. You know, we all brought, with the help of the membership and the executive, we were not many, but we grew. We grew from what was something like 12 members attending meetings and 15 registered. We grew to about double that figure and above. And then we started raising funds, and our bank accounts obviously increased. We raised a lot more money, you know. So we started learning how to work together, how to save money, how to spend less and make big profits in dances. And I say that because I saw the transition when I was with the older members who it was like a social club to them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and rightly so, because they had it as like a social club. It wasn't a charity. It's something that they went to monthly, and you know, they were retired. Some of them were single. It's a day out in a month, or at times twice a month, where they go out, sit and reminisce about their old days, and even solve each other's problems and help each other.
And if you could think back, mm-hmm. Mr. Macaulay, what was your greatest achievement in your time? Just one great achievement.
One, it's probably the bringing members, getting more younger members to be involved. Mm-hmm. Someone asked me these questions once, and I said something, and he said, don't underestimate that you were probably the first youngest member that made this job attractive. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He said, and I'm even now I'm saying, I think somebody else should be saying that, but the person is not here now. But I can remember, and honestly, he said, you made this sort of job attractive. He said, someone like you was quiet, you're not very loud, you're not out there, but you took the job and you did it with dedication, with the support of your family, your wife, the executive members. And all of a sudden, youngish members now aspire to do a job which everybody used to say, oh, that's the old man's job. So probably that I could say I can claim that.
Okay. That's fine. Thank you very much, Mr. Macaulay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the Diaspora Show. Please log on. We have an interesting conversation. We're talking about St. Edward's as we're looking forward to the centenary. Next on my program will be Mr. Andrew Johnson, because Andrew took over from Donald. And I must say, these two fine gentlemen, they've worked together amicably to see St. Edward's where it is today. Mr. Johnson, thank you again for being part of this evening's program. My questions to you, sir.
Yep.
As the former president, because not long ago we elected the new president. What's your plan? Because we're looking at the centenary. In your time as president, what are the things you've actually put in place to see the centenary become a successful event?
Wow. You asked Donald to introduce himself, and you take me right deep into a very difficult question. Thank you very much. I think we've known for a while that centenary is around the corner. It's not a surprise that we have a centenary. We've been talking about the centenary for a couple of years. At the turn of the year, we put a program together working with USA and the Freetown branch. We put a program together looking forward to the centenary. Well, the centenary for us comes in two hits. It comes with the exodus in the diaspora to Freetown, and where we spend 2 weeks celebrating the centenary with the Freetown branch, the school, and trying to leave a legacy behind whilst we go there and leave Freetown. And then the second part is for us in the UK, as in what are we doing here locally to enjoy our centenary. So we've got a program, if I may sort of just drop a few hints in the program, just so people can understand. So on the 6th of February next year, we actually turn 100. So on that day, we're looking to, fortunate enough, it's a Sunday. On that day, we are looking to congregate as Edwardians in our uniform and celebrate the day. Then the next function would be in June. The Queen Jubilee weekend is a long weekend where we're looking to do something family orientated. So it's the opportunity for Edwardians and well-wishers to come out with their family, spend a bit of time. Hopefully the weather will be a lot better than it has been today. And we just spend some time, reminisce and have fun. We're hoping to have an inter-secondary school competition of some sorts. More than likely it will be athletics and football. Obviously being an Edwardian, we excel in those things. So that will be our first protocol. And then following that, we're looking for a dinner and dance in October and a Thanksgiving service, all of which will have a special twist to it, a bit bigger than what we normally do.
Okay.
So that's the centenary.
All right. Again, give me a brief history about your presidency over the last few years, if I would say. What have you done right and what have you done wrong? And do you have any regret being president of the association?
Cool. It's difficult to pinpoint what I've done right and what I've done wrong. I do know I would have done things wrong, and there's a lot of things I would have done right as well. I tend not to make any apologies because whatever I did it with the best intentions. So I am happy with my term as presidency. It's not for me to say whether it was successful or not successful. That is for others.
I caught you in there again. And are you happy with the state of the school in your presidency?
Things can be better. Things can always be better. When I came in as presidency, the buzz at the time was there was pictures floating about the dilapidated state of the school, and that's what the members wanted. The members wanted the school building to look like what it used to look like when we went to school. So that was the task that was set my presidency, and in collaboration with the USA, I think we've done a fine job. It has been slow, but it's got to a point where it's acceptable. But that is not the be all and end all. There's more to the school than just the building. There's the surrounding areas that's there's a bit of concern. Well, there's not a bit of concern. There's a lot of concern lately with the May Park grounds that we are unhappy about, and that's come to light during my presidency.
Yeah.
So whilst there's a lot of good, there's a lot of negatives as well that I need to deal with, or I need to understand, or more importantly, I hand it over to Alvin to deal with.
And when you said negative, were you able to tackle these negative things you're saying?
These are new negatives, which came about probably the last week of my presidency. So it's during the transition period where it is now Alvin's issue with my support.
And again, do you think, as it was the last week of your presidency, do you think it was a way of bringing you down, or because it doesn't look like it looks right as you live in office, all you can see is something not quite right. So what would you say?
That's just life. These things happen. I don't pay any attention to that. That's just life. These things happen. It's just timing.
And your time at St. Edwards, I mean, you did say it, I could have asked you before bringing the tougher question. Your time at St. Edwards as well, I guess it was enjoyable.
Well, yes, I am a second generation Edwardian, just like Donald. My dad went to St. Edwards. My dad played football for the school team. Don't ask me, I didn't play football for the school team. My two brothers went to St. Edwards. I went to St. Edwards. St. Edwards runs through the blood. And yes, okay, I didn't go to St. Edwards Primary School, but I was at St. Edwards from Form 1 to Form 5 with an extra year in Form 5 because these things happen.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think most of us, if we want to say original Edwardians, I mean, I started from 1 up to, of course, the 5th form. Never had the chance to attend the primary school, but at some point in life when I was about to take my selective, something just struck me about St. Edwards. I'm not a Catholic, but I happened to change and find myself in St. Edwards. And again, I never have any regrets of attending St. Edwards. I'm proud to be an Edwardian. And earlier on, like I said, I'm looking forward to build more rapport and to do more for my school. So Andrew, thank you so much. Finally, the man of the hour, our present president. It's a joy to have Mr. Alvin Cole. Welcome to you, Mr. Alvin Cole.
Thank you, Pastoral Officer.
Yes. So tell me more about yourself.
Wow, there's not much to say. An Edwardian, a second generation Edwardian. My dad went to Edwards, and we were not going to go to any other school except St. Edward's Secondary School. He was a sportsman. He was very popular during his time. And then my older brother went to Edwards before me. And then I went to Edwards, and then my younger brother. So we all went to Edwards. Edwards was a school that has generations passing through, during our time. And that's one of the things I remembered about Edwards. Most of the people that went to Edwards during my time, which was 1984, they either had an older brother that's passed through or a family member, that's passed through there. And what that brings is that memory with the principal as well. Oh, I know your dad, I know your brother. Once you come in, the principal know who you are because there's somebody before you that's gone through what you already started.
So are you talking about, I'm probably not sure whether your time at St. Edwards, the likes of Sir Rob was there, or he was probably a teacher.
It was Mr. Robinson throughout, Sir Rob throughout. From
right.
Yes.
Okay. And today, You are the president of the All Edwardians Association.
Yes.
Tell me more about your membership, being part of this association. When did you join this noble association?
Well, I was initially recruited by the legendary Donald Macaulay.
Okay.
In the early 2000s, 2001, 2002, we used to meet around the Budget Park football on the Sunday afternoon, and you have people like Lionel Williams, Bradman, all those people, and you have Donald and say, come on, let's go. There's a meeting in Clapham, and true to form, when I went there, I was like a grandchild among the mates of the elderly. But it was quite interesting to be involved in those sorts of organizations. So I came out, enthusiastic, and I started telling people about my own um, colleagues, past pupils. Oh, we've got this meeting, and the feedback you will get out, like, oh, pardon, we know the joy.
Exactly. Yes.
So during those times, it was hard work getting the younger generation at that time, our age group, to attend meetings, and then I attended for a while, then I boycotted. I came back, I think 2 or 3 times during the first decade of the 2000s, I was in and out. Well, whenever there was functions, they know I was always there.
Good. And of course, you were the treasurer of the association as well for long. But now, what does it feel like being a president of an association like St. Edward's?
I think it's a great privilege, especially the way the association has formed, and where the association is at this stage. It's a privilege for me to be elected the next president of the association. A lot of hard work has gone into it, by people that have spent their time pro bono working, giving their sacrifice, not for themselves, but for people that we don't even know, just because of our connection to this great school that we all went to. So it's a privilege for me to take this hot seat at this time, and I know the work that has gone in is going to make my ride a little bit easier. There's a lot to do, but there are processes already in place.
In fact, you just mentioned hot seat. Yeah, indeed, it is a hot seat. But what are you actually looking forward to as a president of the association? Or what are you bringing to the association? You might see you've been already in the association, but now you're in a different role. What are you hoping to bring?
I think for me, there are two issues. The immediate issue is the centenary. We've got a birthday coming up, It's a date in time that will come and pass, so we cannot ignore it. We have to work towards that centenary, and get people on board. So it's a centenary plans. These plans have been going on for over 2 years, and we have to bring it into completion. We have to come February, we all want to be proud, especially the people in the United Kingdom that will be going to Sierra Leone, or even those that are staying behind and celebrating, want to be proud of our school and say, this is what we've done collectively. The other issue for me is to get more members interested in the association here, in the work we're doing, and in the school. And I think that'll be a big legacy for me at the end, if I get more members interested in the work of the school and the association.
And what other activities? I know we're talking about centenary at the moment, but after the centenary, of course, the association will still go on. You still have probably another term or two to do. But what other things would you do that would attract members to be part of this institution?
I think we need to be more open. We've been opened already. We need to be more open. We need to go out and speak to people. One thing that we've not done quite good is spread the good news that we've been doing. We need to shout from the rooftop that this is what we've done. We've spent a lot of money on the school, on the infrastructure of the school that people are not aware of. We need to make people aware of the money that we've spent to bring the school to the standard it is at the moment. Sometimes you see pictures come through social media and you see schools and in a terrible state, terrible condition. And if it's not for the work of the associations, not just us, we have our other association, the US chapters as well, St. Edward's will be in that same state. But for what guys have done, you know, past president, another colleague, you know, the school infrastructure is at a better state now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a short break. You're reminded we are watching Diaspora Voices with past and present president of the Old Edwardians Association. Sit tight and we'll be back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll bring DJ Little back.
Yeah, I am back. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, our sound engineer.
Yes, you can't see me. I'm trying to get my my video back on. Let's start the video. Yep. Right. So yeah. Right. Fantastic. It's going well. I just want to commend all our presidents as well, and I think they're doing a great job. And in terms of their,
I was still live.
Yeah, we're still live. We're still live. We're still live. It's been monitored. We're still live. If anybody is struggling, tell them they're watching the wrong program. But we're still live. You understand? We're live. We're doing very well. I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, I can see Edwardians have come out in their numbers. Clarence, they're pushing the show. They're sharing the show. Just to give you some of the comments that are coming out. Alusain Jalo say, congratulations and best wishes. Quite a few people watching the program. Omar Congo, Fatima Taylor, Muzardin, and a whole heap of people, and then they're sharing the program. So we want to see that. We will open up the lines later on so that viewers can ask questions to our presidents, ex, and our president, current. And obviously, I want to say thank you to all our three guests so far for being very candid in sharing their story, their history, and their views on the school as well. But I can't help but I was twitching because all I heard was second generation. Well, I wasn't going to let that go, Clarence, because I myself, I'm a second generation because my father, Dr. Alhaji Dr. Idris Sisay, is an Edwardian from... So, there was no way I was going to let these presidents come out here and celebrate, because my mom would have said to me, why may you not tell us say Papa said go Edwards? Because I
exactly.
Oh, sure, you got that in.
And my dad is in Wales. So just for the Edwardians out there that's always wondered and said, is it by coincidence or not by scholarship DJ Little end up in Edwards? No. I am not just one Edwardian in my family, but like I said, my father went to St. Edward's Secondary School. So, and like everybody else, I had no option but to go to St. Edward's Secondary School. You know, we had I had my uncles, my dad's younger brother, who were like a couple of days apart. He went because we all took the selective entrance the same year, and he went to Prince of Wales. You know what I mean? There was an option. Do you want to go to Prince of Wales? I was like, hell no.
Oh.
You know what I mean? I'm going to St. Edward's. So yeah, I wanted to share that as well. And then also looking at the timeline, obviously I'm a lot younger. There was a significant difference just to make my Mr. Donald look so special. There's actually 10 years gap between when he entered, because when he said I went to St. Edward's at 79, I'm like, okay, yeah, I go Edward's 89. So like the chairs and the tables that he sat on are not the same chairs that I sat on. Yeah. Ours had cushions.
Yeah, it's quite different, I guess.
So, but my time, I have to say we were one of the very few in our time, like you yourself, clients, to celebrate and being part of the legendary years of SaLoNe. May his soul, blessed soul, rest in peace. You know what I mean? So people like us, and selfishly and rightfully so, we always see ourselves as real Edwardians. Anybody that was under the tenureship of Robin Sin. I'm not saying the others principles are not good or great, but you want to be part of that iconic history. So when people come out and say, SaLoNe not be the principal, and then you're one of those pupils that went to the school during those 10 term, you feel special. So I wanted to say, so if you're an Edwardian out there that was in St. Edward's during those periods, or you're a modern day Edwardian, I think it's fantastic. Share your stories. But my question I wanted to put to all the panelists. And I think there was something which was said, which was a common theme as well. Everybody spoke about the ways they came into the organization or the association is by somebody holding their hand, somebody introducing them. And it's sort of kind of been the story of the day for Edwardian. I was informed by a friend, by close associates, and to come into St. Edward's and being part of the association. And I remember my first time of coming in at the time, I think it was about 2013, 2014, I met Donald, and he kind of took to likeness in me. But I was kind of rebellious because I was seeing faces that I don't recognize. I was absolutely like, there's no way I'm going to come in and be part of some sort of upper lip, stiff-necked boys that are going. There would be no platform. And I felt at the time I'm trending, you know what I mean? I said, why would I want to be there? I don't need to. But I didn't have the understanding, the maturity to understand that you're going to come back and give back to something which has shaped your life, so to speak. You understand? Because I've always said, obviously, like most of the panelists and yourself, I went to Tower Hill Municipal School. My first 3 years I was in St. Philip's, and then moved on to Tower Hill from class 4 and to class 6. And then before going into, and at the time of moving on to Tower Hill Municipal School, I wanted to go to St. Edward's Primary School, but my mom was adamant that I have to go to Tower Hill, because at the time it was either Tower Hill, Akibo Bet, or college primary school, because she was working in State House. So at the time, she thought she's got a little bit of extra change. Now put me picking a good school, Tower Hill. But I was like, I want to go Edwards. But that didn't manifest. But anyway, I ended up going into the secondary school. So the panelists have shared their story about somebody bringing them. And we want to be able to open the doors to bring in other people. So my question would be, Alvin answered that, but I will take it to the two ex-presidents. How did they build up their membership portfolio in their tenureship? So if I could start with Donald first, please. How did you build up your portfolio in terms of membership portfolio before, and I'll ask Andy to respond as well.
Well, for me, again, it's how did we? Because I believed in we when we meet, that is one of the pleasures or the joys of meeting, of having knocking heads together. So it's when we meet, we discuss, and we bang ideas together, and what comes out, and we implement that. One of the things that I know we suffered from Edwards is because over the years, Edwards have always done functions, shows, and from the Dalvaji days and all that sort of thing. And everybody knows Edwards as performers, stage performers. But a lot of Edwardians didn't know how much work that entails. So a lot of Edwardians will sit there, they're just expecting things to happen. So by talking with the members, then we realize that we need to project that when we do things, they come out well, and let, as Alvin is saying, and let people know. So by spreading the word, saying that, oh, we have a social function. I mean, like, for instance, we were one of the first schools to have, to go to somewhere like Camden and we've had 2 cabaret shows. We had one when we had the Sierra Leone artist in the UK, Collins, the Champ, and the late Bonnie Mac, and then we had the second one under my channel when we brought Famous, and I think that was a turning point when we brought Famous to Camden. For me, that's looking with the rest of the executive and someone like Andrew and Alvin and clients were all in the executive and other members and the members that sold tickets. We were proud. We brought people out. Other schools came, and then members that helped for younger members as well to say, oh, as you said, oh, this is not just an old power business, this is some young blood business here. And I think that's helped. And then now with the advent of all the social media things and more younger people come, and you hit the nail on the head. These things, it's very difficult for you to meet a stranger, and I say stranger, but somebody you're not quite close to, and say, come and join, and they join. It's very difficult. you will succeed if you bring someone that you know, and then he brings somebody else that he knows, and then the success gets by doing that is a lot more bigger. So by doing that, talking to people, and then obviously I met Alvin, we were playing football, and once we got to know each other, you know, I know I'm able to bring Alvin, and then Alvin is able to bring somebody else, and obviously now we forgot not just Alvin, it was him and his brother, because I was just looking at some old documents, 2001. I've got a receipt here for you, Alvin, when you paid your subs, you and your brother. 2001, I've got it right here. And I will show that, I'll prove that, I'll show that to members, you know. So it's him and his brother. You know, his brother was an assistant general secretary at one time, for a short time under me. So it was lost by that, by talking, by encouraging Edwardians to awaken other Edwardians that they know.
Fantastic. Well, and thank you so much for that, Donald. Andy, over to you. How were you able to build up, and what ways did you deliver that? Just on mute, please.
I'll go back a little bit, because when I started getting involved in the association in 2009, strange enough, my dad was president, and whilst he encouraged me to join, I always declined to join, because I always thought, what am I doing socializing with my dad? That's not going to happen. So I never ever joined. Now, during that time, Donald was working with him, and Donald was saying, come and join, come and join. I was looking at Donald thinking, you must be mad. You must be mad. The things started to turn when a friend of mine, Eddie Tijan, invited my wife and myself to an Edwards dinner and dance. I'm talking about somebody from St. Joseph's inviting me to an Edwardian dinner and dance. So we turned up, and again, Donald it was a well-organized dance. And Donald again approached me, and by that time I started to soften. And then my secret weapon, who I sort of attributes the increase of membership during my time, Mr. Vicky Blues Kamara, approached me. He had an idea about the cabaret that Donald had mentioned. He sold the idea to me that he was planning to do this. Could we sit down and sort of plan it? And that got me thinking, yes, I can get involved in this sort of thing. And that's where it all kicked off for me, where we had the first cabaret. And the way the membership increased, in my opinion, is we became relevant. You know, we were doing things that others weren't doing. Not only that, the membership started to get younger as opposed to the older members. And that purely and simple for me, is how it's worked out. My secret weapon, Vicky Blues. You know, he was just out there campaigning to get young members in. And it's about reaching out to the Edwardians, you know, talking to them about the association and what we're trying to do and what we're trying to do in the school, and just making people feel part of something. You know, it's not just about hanging out. It's about giving back to something that made us what we are today. Because I owe a lot of my education to St. Edward's Secondary School, you know, and it pays to give back, and that was purely it, making us relevant, being out there, and just getting people to feel welcome.
Thank you, Andy. Just before I hand over to Clarence again, one more question for our current president, Alvin. And Alvin, you've heard from both predecessors. You've, like you said, you've got a mantle, but obviously you've got the support. You've been in the executive. You are no stranger to this, and you're an experienced Ed as well. You are a generation of Edwardian. You know the ethos of St. Edward's Secondary School. You know the value. You know where we want to go as a school. And so, if you look at it on paper, this should be easy. But to deliver it, it's not going to be as easy as, which you kind of recognize. So, looking at it, Andy's touched on identifying the likes of Victor Blues. So basically, you need a lynch mob, and what you call it. Donald talked about the advent of social media. We do need social media, because this is the current time. So we're no longer in the advent of social media. We're now where social media matters quite a lot. And we're still seeing there are variants, there are gaps in terms of bringing in new breeds of Edwardians. How do you think we're going to deliver this collectively? Because I'm part of the executive now, so that's why I'm using the word we, you understand? Because I don't want you to throw it back at me. So how do you think we're going to deliver this as a team to ensure that we have that continuity from when we had the days of the elder people, elders in Clapham, to bringing in new breeds of Edwardians that will be energized, just like Andy has said, those that will be interested and have the core values to make sure we continue with the Edwardian program to help others?
Thank you. First of all, I must applaud our elderly people that have kept this association going for 38 years. You know, I remember my first time in the early 2000s when I went in there. It was like, oh, a diamond. They don't want you to leave, you know. And they were always looking forward to the younger generation. They would say, "Lon, I guess I can take over, or if I can begin land this, in fact, stand for election," you know. And I think I remember when Andrew's dad was elected, they gave me a post of assistant treasurer. Yeah, they still not coming, and I the young one and I begin work quantum, you know. So they've kept this association going. They've built the constitution around this association for us to be able to operate the way we're operating now. So and up till date, we still have some of them attending meetings, you know, and even logging onto Zoom. So well done to those guys, those pioneers of the association. For us that are left now to take this mantle forward, this collective work. One of the strategies that brought us here today, you know, being on this program, the exposure, so that people out there know that the association is there, the work we're doing, and we want them to come in and join. Many hands make light work. You know, we've got a dynamic team now, a diverse team of executive. Well done to the association for electing the people they've elected, you know, to help me with this work. And you're one of them. So I'm sure the membership secretary is probably one of the youngest we've had, and he's going to try his utmost best to bring the younger generations in. You know, we need those guys, you know, from the 1990s upwards. You know, I keep saying we've got over 1,000 Edwardians in the UK or more. You know, if half of them come on board, we'll be able to accomplish much more.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you. I'm going to go over now to Clarence to go on to the next segment, wave of question, which we're going to now come and talk about the reason why we're here. We've developed a very strong backstories. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching the program tonight, please continue to share the program, continue to send your comments, and continue to pick up the phone, call Edwardian and say, look, we get the 3 presidents them now live now diaspora voices. You may not have the opportunity anymore, and this is where we're going to garner your interest, and you can become part of such a wonderful journey. So pick up the phone, reach out, and also if you're an Edwardian where just attend Edwards, maybe just the 6th form, your sister or your gentleman that's come from another school, and then you feel that I want to have an affiliation to Edwards. Yes, the platform is still open, the room is still open. Once you enter Edwards Secondary School one day, you're still an Edwardian because you have achieved yourself an enrollment number. So that means you're qualified as an Edwardian. So whether not one day, whether not 1 year, so please, this is your opportunity to become instrumental figure into St. Edward's Secondary School. I never thought when I first turned up to the first meeting in 2014, I will be here today. You understand? So I've never been more excited to be part of the executive, you understand? So, because I know now I have a better understanding, a better maturity that I have to give back. Whilst Tawai Municipal Primary School, St. Philip's Primary School, and the nursery may have planted the roots, I know that the definition of the root was sowed on St. Edward's Secondary School. So a lot of what I knew, my interest in arts, entertainment, I was in the performing arts. I like everything that had to be with to be done with creativity. I was in the art stream for my GCSEs. So this all that was shaped because of St. Edward's Secondary School. So this is your time. If you're sitting today, you're scratching your head, you've had 1 or 2 phone calls from 1 or 2 people, and then you say, well, they think, well, that's well, and just come. Life is easy. You don't even have to drive all the way to the venue now. Nowadays, we're creating the opportunity to be accessible online on the meetings. So even if you live far outside of London and then you want to be part of St. Edward's, you can join. Even when the restrictions are going to be eased, we're going to return back to face-to-face meetings. We're still going to maintain the social media part so we can engage others, you know, because I've always said to my dad, I know you have a lot to give. You're a retired doctor. Just a wisdom can come in and then just give back. Would you like to come in and be an Edwardian who is just going to share knowledge? We might need some medical advice. Why not? You know, so but he's always asking questions about how well the school is doing. So that shows he's got interest. So if you're one of those people, try to reach out. So we're going to go to the next segment of the program tonight, which is talking about why we're here, the centenary, the virtual fundraising event we're all excited about. So we hope that you're going to give back. So if I reach you, I'm just going to hand over to Clarence. Over to you, please.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much, DJ Little and our sound engineer. Again, yes, once more, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. We are live at Diaspora Show. We've got the past and present president of the All Edwardians Association. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, please send your comments. Ring us on +44 7951 213 881 +7951 213 881. Send us your comments, any questions to our president. Now, ladies and gentlemen, again to our gentlemen, our panelists tonight, Mr. President, our present president, let's talk about the Zoom launch, 30th of May, which is just around the corner. Please tell us more about the Zoom launch.
Andy?
Current president.
Yeah, I did say the current president.
Wow. Next year is our centenary. And as a UK branch of the All Edwardian Association, we want to leave a legacy within the school for the centenary. Most people that have gone to Sierra Leone know that there are certain challenges with utilities, and water is a big issue. And in most public places you go, you hardly get water, you know, let alone it's in the school. So as an association in the UK, what we plan to do is to refurbish the toilet block at the back of the school and build an extension, because we think that toilet block is too small for the current school, and build an extension to double the capacity of that toilet block in the school with running water, lights, and maintenance for the children of the school, you know. So that's what we want to do. That's what we want to leave, so that when people go there in February 2022, that building will be there to serve the Old Edwardians coming to celebrate the centenary and to serve the children that attends the school. And to do that, we need to raise funds. So we're having a Zoom launch on Sunday, the 30th of May, and we're inviting everybody, Edwardians, non-Edwardians, to come on board. It's £5 to join in, and there's going to be lots of entertainment during that evening, and it will roll until late as people want to stay on. But we've got a jam-packed program. We know when Edwards do something, I think it's not to be compared. We know what Edwards Boboden can do, Edwards did to them. But we've got a jam-packed program on that night, and we're appealing to people to come on board. The link is out on social media. We'll continue to share it. It's £5 entry. And when you come in, we'll ask for donations. If you like the act, you like the music, you keep on donating. We want to raise funds to build this infrastructure that will serve the school for maybe another 100 years to come.
To former President, Mr. Andrew Johnson, I think also this was you initiated this idea of a Zoom launch. Why the Zoom launch? Do you think this is a better way to raise funds, or is there any more ways that we can raise funds apart from Zoom launch?
I think we would prefer to be in person, but I think COVID has a say on what's happening in the world today. And it's trying to adapt to the current conditions that we live in, that we went for the Zoom launch. Preferably, I'd like to meet people face to face, shake their hand, hug them, dance with them. But unfortunately, for the last a year and a bit, we've had to dance in our rooms in front of an iPad or a television screen. So it's not the first, it wouldn't be our first choice, not as an Edwardian. Edwardians don't do behind the scenes. You know, we are upfront, in your face, let's have a good time. That's the Edwardian way. This is dictated to us by the world that it is today. That said, whatever the circumstance, we are prepared, and we will put a good show on. It's the opportunity to come and see. You can come and hear the current president singing. You probably even hear the old man Donald singing. You never know.
That's good.
So it's a fun time awaits you all, guys. A fun time awaits you all.
And ladies and gentlemen, one of the surprising things that probably many of you did not know about, I know some schools do have it, but again, under the leadership of Andrew and Donald, we were able to form a choir. So please come along on the 30th. Come and hear some good singing from the All Edwardian Choir, and a lovely night awaits you. And a question to you, Mr. President. What other events for the rest of the year? Because I know we've got the Zoom launch coming on board. And we are approaching summer as well. And rightly, as we've spoke about, we're phasing away from lockdown. I mean, easing lockdown. Can you shed more light in terms of what's under your portfolio for the next few months, as COVID would probably permit us to do?
Yeah, it all depends what COVID permits us to do, but we hope after the June, the lockdown will come to an end. And if that happens, we're trying to do a sort of end of lockdown entertainment where we could get people to come out, you know, and mingle. And we Edwards have the best DJs around anyway, you know, and so we got something in the calendar. But we're not sure what's going to happen, but we're planning something for early July, if lockdown permits us, you know, to have an outdoor event and something in the hall where we'll get people out. I think people have been sat in their homes for far too long, over a year and a half, and really need to get out. So we want to start the end of lockdown with the bank, really, if COVID permits us. But then we're planning to have a summer activity during the Queen's Jubilee. I think my predecessor mentioned that as well, and that's something in the pipeline. We always have our customary dinner and dance in October, you know, so that is there, you know, to plan for the centenary. And again, depending, and we plan to go to Croydon for that. We've been to that venue before, so if we can, yeah, we'll have that in October as well.
Donald Macaulay, yes.
Andy,
is there any other?
Thanksgiving.
Shed a little bit more light as well, because I mean, you are also part of, you were once part of the executive. Just give us more light in terms of the centenary, because you're part of this committee. You've also done a lot you know, I must say. So
yeah, well, we've worked as a team, and it's the interesting thing now. The work has got lighter because with the new executive, the new dynamic executive members, we're able to share the workload. So it's nothing. I'm so pleased that, you know, we can share the workload. Again, it's about going to Freetown, and then the thing that we also try to put out there is we're raising money for the school. It's a charity. There's a lot of serious work that needs doing. But just like how the school is St. Edward's, it's a school, it's an educational institution. We produce results. You come out, most of us come out with results that will set us for life. We also do extracurricular activities very well. Sports, the arts, performing arts, you know, we do them very well. So we're not different. We've just graduated from there into adulthood and do the same thing where we try to raise money for our school. But when it comes to it, we do if I can say, the 75% of the seriousness of the adhering to charity commissions and looking after the money diligently and dealing with people diligently. We also do the 25% thing, which, as you can tell, when we used to meet up to a year ago at our meetings,
okay,
that we get a social event. We know how to party. We know how to make fun. We know how to make the hard work look like child's play, because, as I say, all work and no play.
Indeed. Makes Jack's a dull boy. Okay, Mr. Donald, let me cut you in. I'm just going to bring our sound engineer. It looks like we're getting a call through digitally too.
Right. Yeah, when we got somebody that called, but dropped the line because they were not patient enough. But anyway, still, so my call will be to, if you're the caller who made the phone call earlier on, please feel free. The line's open. I'll just repeat the numbers again. As Clarence said, it's +44 795 121 3881. That's +44 795 121 3881. That's the number you can call. It's available on WhatsApp, as well as you can call directly. You can pose your questions to any of our presidents, ex and current. And also, I'm very fascinated about what Alvin said, the work that's going to be done. So just think about this. My take is, if you're an Edwardian out there and you want to attend the event, or you're not going to be able to attend the event because we're not going to be physical representation, it's on Zoom. However, you're going to be working on the night, or you'll be traveling, but you want to purchase the ticket, just think about it. It's just £5, just £5. So you can still purchase your ticket and gift it to somebody else. So you can gift it to a family, or you can gift it to a friend, or you can gift it to a work colleague who wants to be part. You know, all the gentlemen have just said it. At Edwards Secondary School, we have the best balance. When it comes to higher level education, we deliver. When it comes to extracurricular activities, we deliver. So, and I know a lot of you guys, ladies, are getting to the point where you're thinking, Zoom fatigue. But guess what? There is no better way. If you're feeling that you're getting Zoom fatigue, there is no better way where we're seeing the restrictions being eased, we're going back to normality, to put up, you know what I mean, at the apex of entertainment in Zoom is going to be what we're going to deliver. So if you've been to other events on Zoom, you've attended, you've partied, and you think you've had a good time, you're going to have a great time with us, because it's guaranteed. We've got storytelling, we've got poetry reading, we've got live performances that are going to be coming on. So we've got so much to share, and then we still have ample time for you guys to shake those legs and dance away. But I'm fascinated right now, clients, to actually, I want to hear from female Edwardian. So if you're an Edwardian female, so who attended St. Edward's Secondary School through the sixth form route, please use this opportunity to call live now. And we want to hear from you, all our female Edwardian sisters. Please call live now. The number again is +44 7951 213 881. You don't need to use the UK dial code if you're already in the UK. So please, we want to hear from you. Over to you, Clarence. Okay, so I think Clarence is still engaged. Whilst we're waiting on Clarence to unmute his mic again, I'm just going to keep repeating the message. Just make sure that you call in. I'm looking forward to the previous caller that made the phone call, and I'm sure you had something interesting to say or wanted to ask a question. Do call again. Over to you, Clarence.
Thank you, DJ Little. Yes, so it's all about the 30th, ladies and gentlemen, 30th of May. Come along, support Maypac Boys. It's a name that one could never forget. When you think of St. Edwards, you think of what we call Maypac Saints. So, ladies and gentlemen, join us on the 30th.
We've got a phone call.
Yep.
Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from, please?
Ambrose Johnson.
Ambrose Johnson. Where are you calling from?
East London.
You're calling from East London. Yeah. Ambrose. Are you an Edwardian first of all?
Definitely am.
Okay, I believe so. 100% Edwardian. So Ambrose, yeah. Obviously, do you have a comment? Do you have a question? We're proud to welcome you on the Diaspora Voices program tonight in conversation with all our presidents for the last 3 terms. Yeah, over to you, Ambrose. Yeah, so my advice would be don't listen to the Facebook. There will be a delay. Have a real-time conversation with me.
Yeah, I've tried to move away from the Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for...
Just quickly, can my panelists hear Ambrose?
I've been listening to the former president and the current one. One thing I want to add, I don't know whether they mentioned that, the strength of the old boys, we've done a lot. Without the old boys institution, I'm sure
breaking up.
I don't know what the schools will be like. Right. For those who don't know, I want them to know that during the reign of Donald McCauley, with the help of the old boys from the USA, the UK, and Sierra Leone, we built a 14 classroom block, and we are the first school in Sierra Leone to go back to a single shift after the war. So most people won't know that the type of work we're doing, and these guys have done a tremendous job. They've given their time and their effort in order to make our school a great school again. So that's one comment I just want to add.
Yeah. Right. Well done. So stay on the line, Ambrose. I'll just get our panelists, if you can just touch base on that comment. And just to be clear, Alvin, our current president, did gave a lot of kudos. And actually, all the panelists has given loads of rave reviews and commendations to all the previous members, especially the elders who formed and created this wonderful organization that we come to see as OEA UK&I. So, but I'll allow the panelists, starting with Alvin, to just touch base in just a minute to just add to what Ambrose have said before having Ambrose to comment, and then I'll go over to Clarence again.
It's always good to hear a familiar voice for the first call. I actually went to St. Edwards with Ambrose on the first day of school in St. Edwards. So thanks, Ambrose, for that reminder, yes, of the work the association does towards the school. I think that project was done many years ago, and it was funded by an Edwardian and with the associations working together, Freetown and the diaspora associations working together to get this project off the ground and build a new block, that enabled the school to run a single shift. But that was well before my tenure, so I'll pass it on to my predecessors to comment more on that.
Okay, thank you very much. If we can move on to Andy, please, in a minute.
I think this is one for the old man, because this was during the old man's presidency. This is the only time I'll get away with calling him the old man. So I think we'll lean to the old man to lead us on this.
I think he was pre-warned prior to the preview of the show. So there was going to be a time when your age was going to reflect
Thank you. That's fine. That's fine. And I think if you can't take the heat, don't go in the kitchen. And
listen, you are so youthful. I aspire to be you.
Oh.
I'm honest.
Cool.
I thank the Lord. I thank the Lord for that. Yes, that project was an Edwardian born project. No other but the one Alaji Babatunde Cole, donated the lion's share of that money to, and yes, I was the president then, but he donated it to the Freetown branch, our parent body, and we had Mr. Jubilee Sako, who was the president then, and worked tirelessly. And during that time, obviously, Mr. Jubilee Sako did come to England on a few occasions and graced our meetings, and we had discussions of how to take things forward. And wow, when that building was finished, as current president said, we were the first school to come out of double shifts because of the influx of refugee and students, and that's the school we were double capacity. We came to single shift, and we even have spare classrooms left over. When I went to Freetown, as guest speaker for Foundation Day, and shortly before that building was completed in about 2015. When we went on a radio show again, hosted by the late Vivian Stark Davis, he's another Edwardian, myself, Jubilee, Mr. JP Kamara, and myself, when we've been interviewed. I can remember the first person that called to congratulate us was the president of the Sierra Leone Grammar School Alumni Association, called us because he's heard of the school, of the building, and what we're doing, and he was so glad and so impressed with it, because as I could just mention them, Mr. Tunde Cole had already donated some money to them as well, and they did something similar. But when he saw ours was a lot more grander. So that's a milestone. So if any Edwardian is out there thinking that we don't do good work, and thank you, Ambrose, for bringing that up. We always tend to forget that it's a massive leap into the 21st century for St. Edward's.
Yeah. Fantastic, Ambrose. Well done. Thank you very much to our president for buttressing on that. Ambrose, do you have any more comments, or do you have any questions for our panelists before we move on?
I'll actually give chance to other viewers to make some comments. I'll get back to them later.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your contribution. And also, we want to congratulate you live on here for being part of the new executive as well. And I'm happy to be understudying you. But no go to bed. I'm watching you. Okay, good. Fantastic. Over to you, Clarence.
Yes.
And if callers wants to call, please feel free to call. The line is open.
Yes, yes, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, please call us on +44 795 121 3881. It's all about the 30th of May, St. Edward's, Maypark Boys. We're having a Zoom launch. Come along. It's only £5. It's to support a worthy cause. We want to make education better for our children in Sierra Leone. Mr. President, let's talk more about the centenary.
So we seem to have another caller on the line.
Okay,
before we move into this. Hello, caller. What's your name and where you're calling from, please?
Good evening. My name is Fatima Liwali Taylor.
Welcome to the call. I'm Fatima Liwali Taylor. We've got our first female vocal voice. I was anticipating. Are there no women in St. Edward Secondary School? Welcome. Well done.
Oh, we're here supporting our men. We're part of the Maypark family.
Right. What's your comments and to the panelists, including our special guest host, who's doing an incredible job? What's do you have to add to what's the planning of the event that's going to the forthcoming event?
I just want to say a big thank you to all of them for volunteering their time and for all their effort in trying to leave a legacy for our future generations to come in terms of more development to the school. And I would like to ask about the launch in terms of the costing for people who are in different parts of the world that would want to join in, and in terms how would they pay as well.
So it's a great question. Does any of our panelists wants to pick that up? Did you get Fatima's question?
So if you repeat the question, it's how do people outside of the UK pay?
Yes.
So there's in a few days' time, we are going to be releasing another flyer which will have joining details. So it's going to have the Zoom link, but more importantly, it's going to have a PayPal link to pay. So if you're outside of the UK, you can pay via PayPal. If you're outside of the UK, you can also pay into the GoFundMe account. And in the UK, I would suggest and recommend that you use the bank accounts. So there's three options there in which to pay. So PayPal, GoFundMe, and the bank accounts, of which full details will be coming out in the next couple of days. The GoFundMe and the bank account is on the current flyer, but there'll be an updated flyer with just joining details, just so it's clear to everybody how to join in.
Is that clearly explained, Fatima?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Do you have any other comments or any other question before I hand over to Clarence?
No.
Thank you very much for your engagement. Thank you very much. Viewers, I hope that's very, very clear to what my colleague have said. Former President Andy has made it very clear, and we hope that you got that. So, Clarence, over to you, please. I know you were asking a question to just expand a little bit more on the night itself.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much. As I was saying earlier on, I think the other thing I probably want us to do tonight is, as we're getting more callers, people are keen to know, if we have the flyer on board, maybe we could also just share that so members can see what the night is all about, what our aims and objectives. Like I said earlier on, it's more to support education in Sierra Leone and to make a better education for our future children. So as I was saying, Mr. President, I know we're talking more about the Zoom launch. It's all about the centenary. Can you shed light in terms of planning? When I say planning, it's not just the Zoom launch, but planning for 2021. Maybe some of our viewers will want to probably join us to travel to Sierra Leone, well wishes. Is there any sort of updates in terms of traveling? I mean, it's all supporting a worthy cause, so probably some people might be interested to know.
You're talking about traveling to Freetown for 2022, right?
Yes, please.
We're in the UK, we're always planning. We've got lots of different committees. We've got people giving their time to lots of different committees, from infrastructure to other centenary projects, and even for us to get ourselves into Freetown in February, we've got a committee that's looking at traveling. We're basically looking to book travel, and buy seats on the plane. I don't think we'll be able to charter a plane, but want to buy large amounts of seats on the plane. So the more people we get that want to get to Freetown between the second week for a 2-week period, 2 to 3 week period, between the 14th, 15th to about the 29th, 1st of March, we'll need your names. And if you give us your names and the flexible dates, then we'll sort of speak to the travel agent on your behalf and see whether we could get tickets at a much cheaper price as a group, that will take us all to Freetown, during the February celebration. So we've got a team working on that. And if you're interested in going to Freetown in February, mid-February, give us your details and then we'll come back to you and tell you what we've got.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. There are more information to come. And also on the 30th of May, we're going to get more information to you guys for you to understand, or for you to know what St. Edward's is all about, what our main causes, our plans, you know. So it's all about the 30th of May. 30th of May, come along, Edwardians. Edwardians, if you've been to Edwards in the 90s like myself, you know, come along, friends. I'm sure you're seeing me. It's me along. Come along, be part of the association. Let's make St. Edward's School a better school, and let's make education itself a better one for Sierra Leoneans, because as we see over the last couple of years, education is going down. And for us as Sierra Leoneans, I believe we living in the diaspora, we want to be proud. We want to be proud of Sierra Leone. We want to be proud of ourselves. We want to be proud of our schools. So come along. It doesn't mean if you don't attend St. Edward's or if you don't attend the grammar school, but it's all about a worthy cause for Sierra Leone education to be back to where it was in those early days. Come along, Edwardians, friends, come along. 30th of May, Zoom launch.
That's good. Well done. Can you hear me, sir?
I can.
Okay, fantastic.
Thank you.
Just before we go, I'm just gonna put up the flyer on the screen. As you said, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the flyer on the screen, and also I've shared the bank details on the Facebook. So I'm sharing the bank details on the Facebook page. So please feel free and to absolutely make your generous donations, which we believe that you can. Like I said, I've already said it. If you don't feel that you can attend because of work-related reasons, and but you want to gift your donation to a family or friend, you can do so. It's only £5, but your £5 will go towards a significant difference in terms of where we can improve the development of the school. Personally, I just want to use this opportunity to say a massive thank you to each and every one of the presidents, ex and current, that have given their time. Mr. Donald Macaulay, Big Brother Andy Johnson, and then a good friend of mine, Mr. Alvin Cole as well. So I want to say thank you to every single one of you guys to giving your time and sharing the story. And I think, Alvin, you touched on something where you say what we do as Edwardian is about utilizing what is current, what is trending. And throughout the years, throughout the ages, we've demonstrated that. And I would love to see yourself and your executive come in every 3 months, share the progress of St. Edward's Secondary School. Let's have that. Let's us be the first alumni association to give real-time updates, not only to Edwardians, and let's not just have that in minuted. Let's have that in conversation with our president or any member of the executive to come out and give progressive updates to show that as an organization, as an association, we are transparent, we are open, we're welcoming, we're warm, but equally, there are our brothers and sisters in Sierra Leone that will see that OEA, UK&I are setting the trend, and I can bet you any money tonight, there is a lot of alumni that are watching us in positive envy, not negative envy, positive envy, because they're going to start ringing their fellow associates. But you get media platform, you know, when they call me, say, look, you know, sweating digitally to like clients don't do, you understand? So people will be hungry to capitalize on what we've done, because we are Edwardians, we are trend setters. So tonight we've set the trend, we've raised the bar, and other schools and are going to pick up that platform. But we're not going to be envious. We're going to be saying, well, at least we started it. We were one of the first to go to single shift. We started it. So that's what we do as Edwardians. So if you can go back to the executive and say, do you think we can do this on Diaspora Voices every quarterly? Why not? You understand? So I want to say once again, thank you very much. Also to Clarence Dixon, and I think you've done a fantastic job. I want to personally thank you for accepting the invitation at a very short notice, and I think you delivered. And there's definitely a platform for you on Diaspora Voices. I've already told you that. So All you have to do is send an apology to your wife now, because working with DJ Little on the media means you don't have any more time for your family. So you will work together going forward. So thank you once again very much. But also to all the Edwardians that have engaged through the WhatsApp, the Facebook, the YouTube, all your comments have been seen. I've seen comments coming up from Caveway, Fatima, Augustine, so many of the comments that have come through. So you guys are smashing. Let's just keep sharing the message, pass it on, and tell everybody that come the 30th of May, it's going to be a night like no other night. It's only £5. Your mobile phone is 98% times higher than that, if I can put it that way. So please, please, please. Thank you. I'll hand over to Clarence to wrap it up and give our panelists to give them one last word each before we close.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, DJ Little. Finally, final words. Final words from Mr. Donald Macaulay, please.
Well, together we move.
Is that it?
I actually like that saying, together we move.
Well done.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I think I got that out of frame, so he may have to say that again, because by the time I was getting him in frame, he was yeah.
Together we move. Did you get that?
Well done.
Together we move.
Indeed. Well done, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Donald Macaulay, and to Mr. Andrew Johnson.
How can I beat that? Together we move. But look, guys, make 30th of May a date for your diary. The old Edwardians will entertain you. It's the opportunity for you guys to come and spend some time with us. It's the opportunity to get to see all the latest memorabilia that will be coming available, of which I'm sporting one, which is the centenary polo shirt. There's quite a few of these coming out. So you'll get to see everything that's coming up and what's happening in next year. So to all old Edwardians and to well-wishers, we look forward to seeing you on the 30th of May. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. And finally to the present president of the Old Edwardians, Mr. Alvin Cole.
Yeah, there's a lot to do, and I'm calling on all the Edwardians, especially those in the UK, come on board, come and join us. The 30th of May is your time to show your hand. It's £5. The link is out there. Log in, pay your £5. There's a lot to entertain you, and there's a lot more work that needs to be done. Show your charitable spirit. And there are a lot of you that want to give back. You didn't know how. This is your time. 30th of May. See you then. Thank you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. From myself, to all our viewers, to Edwardians, all I will say is it's not just about the 30th of May. It's more to come, and as we look forward, as the easing of lockdown is smoothly going away, I encourage Edwardians to come along. We do meet every second Sunday of every month at St. Paul's Church, Lorimos Choir. But again, on the night of the 30th, we will give more details. I'm encouraging Edwardians, come along, build your school, be proud of St. Edward's, and make a better future. Like I said earlier on, I can't say much more than this. Make education great in Sierra Leone as we look forward for new leaders to come on board. How do we get new leaders? If we give proper education to our children. We cannot say because we don't live in Sierra Leone, we can't help. But it's a way to help and to make education. It's not just about St. Edward's. It's about education in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone should come back to map. Sierra Leone should rise again when it comes to education. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Clarence. Thank you very much, Donald Macaulay. Thank you very much, Mr. Andy Johnson. Thank you very much, Sir Alvin Cole. Of course, thank you once again, Clarence Ivan Dixon, our pastoral officer. Gentlemen, please stay on the line, and we're going to play our school anthem, please. She's gonna play the school anthem. We can wave.
Oh, the Lord Christian Pie.
Always honor thee.
All our lives to sing.
Proudly standing
Proudly
on
stand.
our inspiring us to follow close. Oh,
So great I
Follow
told.
close to
we pray about to
we pray until we shall fight on all life's struggles. We shall be loyal to our school, to our kids, ever far in days to come. Lives may make us run, our closest friends will.
Okay, well done. We're not on live anymore.